Welcome to Hafa Hour Guam Unfiltered. Ahoy! Ahoy! Aye! Oh, for a die Guam. Hear that I come alive. From just Pirates Cove, we sailing for what's right. Captain Jeffrey Pigwell keep the compass true. Andrea on the map. Guam directory coming through. Tigs with the signal, save our startup loud. Doc Akimoto on deck, AMC proud. Clap, clap. Leaning close, let the real talk run. Ha good nya to man. Everybody has one. No wish on this ship. No fear in our eyes. Raise the sails to the truth. Watch the whole place rise. Hafa Hour Guam Unfiltered. Hafa Hour Guam Unfiltered. Ahoy, ahoy. Sing it unfiltered. Guam sauce for true seeker, yeah, we deliver. Hafa Hour Guam Unfiltered. Everybody now, Guam Unfiltered. They do to Santa Rita, in Alohan too, Talo Fofo in the reading. This one's for you, Don Farrell in the room, Charlie Hermosa near. We ask real questions, make it crystal clear. Tenorio Calvo, Ada, Camacho names in the race. No banners on this deck, just truth to face. Independent pirate party, stand firm, stand tall. Continue to continue, answer the call. Clap, clap, lean in close, let the real talk run. Hagotnya to 2 months, everybody has one. No hush on the ship, no fear in our eyes. Raise the sails to the truth, watch the whole place rise. Hafa Hour Guam Unfiltered. Hafa Hour Guam Unfiltered. Ahoy, sing it, don't filter it. Guam sauce for true seekers, yeah, we deliver it. Guam Unfiltered. Everybody now, Unfiltered. White ladies bridge when the night wind blow. Truth don't scare when the truth must show. Chief Gagao and Matapang strength we carry on. Sarina in the tide sing, Guam sing along. Continue to continue. Independent pirate party. Hafa Hour Guam Unfiltered. Hafa Hour Guam Unfiltered. Ahoy, sing it, don't filter it. Guam sauce for true seekers, yeah, we deliver it. Tune into Hafa Hour Guam. Welcome.
It took just 24 hours for us to lose control of the city. Tonight, anything here? Gotham's relying on
exactly what happened. We were outside the outlets when someone tried to...
Under these statutes, you don't have the authority.
And
responsible gun ownership is the law. Coming from that appellate.
Now,
Before they realize what we know.
I understand the.
I'll make you proud, Grandma. Promise. That's better. Okay, we're done. The property lines.
Sir, please wait here.
I need you to stay by the car.
Okay, I got it.
Just tell me what happened.
Has been breached. Confirmed reports of multiple attacks in the capital.
Please. We're now in a state of alert. Come on in.
Yes. But I didn't.
Details emerging of a major political scandal shaking the island.
But I didn't expect it here. Where else would it be?
Only thing that's on my mind is who's gonna run this town tonight.
Hey everyone, how's it going?
We're ready to get started.
A few moments later.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And each story is told in a different way. Sometimes I hear the same birds singing from past weeks, telling of their adventures since last seeing each other.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to beautiful Ipan Talafofo, Guam, USA. Jeff's Pirates Cove, right on the beach. We're enjoying the weather from the storm. This is episode 38, season 2, and it's April 12th, 2026. Now, today, because of the storm, we might not have all the guests we wanted, but Doc, me, Charlie, and Amber will keep you entertained. So, when we have a typhoon, and my first typhoon here was Typhoon Karen, and that was on November 12th, 1962. And we had just arrived on island. My dad worked at the power plant, so he had to go to work. And he left me alone with my mother and my 2 sisters in a wooden frame house with a tin roof in Santa Rita. And Typhoon Karen was a tremendous storm. It lasted a long time. Then in the eye lasted a long time, and I went out. And I'd never suggest you should go out in the eye because it came back real quick and I got hit with debris while I was outside. And I had a broken leg at the time and I was in a cast, so it wasn't easy. But to me, Typhoon Karen, that was the worst typhoon we ever had. Before we go any further, we're going to talk to Amber and see what she's got on sale in the gift shop today.
We have Don Farrell's books. We only have a few more left of Guam, A Brief History and CBs and Superforts. And we have The Liberation.
We have plenty of Liberation. Come and get these soon because we're running short and we'll be getting some more.
And we have one of our new shirts.
That's
Wanted.
pretty cool. Look like the Wanted poster. You know, I made a shirt like that for me and Charlie. Very cool.
It is beautiful.
And we finally have the short sleeve THAAD missile shirts in.
So we have the THAAD missile in tank top. We have it in hooded.
Tank top, hoodies, long sleeves, and
now we have the short sleeve. I had my buddy resorted some of those. 3XL.
Is that your THAAD missile, or are you just excited to see me?
No, that's the Thermal High Altitude Air Defense System.
And we just restocked on this color in the dry fit long sleeves with the hood.
This is the one that we ran out of like the first week we got them. So I ordered a batch of just this size, so just this color, every size.
This is like a classic, right? I mean, it's just really nice and basic, but especially during a typhoon, you need a hoodie, and especially a dry fit hoodie. Ah, there it is. There it is.
Our raincoats.
Now, these raincoats run kind of big.
Heavy duty.
And what are you giving 30% off those today?
Yes, 30% off.
Isn't this great?
Yeah.
With the Stetson. I mean, this is what you need to do your typhoon preparation and your post-typhoon cleanup. This is sturdy.
It is a real waterproof raincoat, that's for sure.
This is a real raincoat.
And we have our glasses and our beer mugs. And we also have our coffee mugs.
These coffee mugs with the heart in them, those are very popular. You should get one of those. We can send these to you, but we have to really pack them right because they break easy. We harvested beautiful Mo golden honey derived from the chains of love. And I've been writing about the chains of love with Don Baker in my book. And this honey is the best you're ever gonna try. And we do have a lot in stock right now, so come down. Even if you want to send it for Christmas, get it now. I don't know when we're gonna harvest again.
I'm thinking that this typhoon might blow away some of the flowers, but not blow away amber, because I mean, this really is the day for people to come on down to Jeff's. It's a beautiful Sunday morning, the breeze is in the air, and we're having a typhoon sale, isn't that correct?
Yes, we have 30% off in the gift shop.
And it sounds like the kitchen is full fire. There's a lot of people out there, so a lot of smart folks still making their way down to Jeff's, maybe after church, go say a prayer. But don't forget to come to Jeff's. And what are the specials today?
We have our barbecue fiesta plate today. We also have the family platter and our fish nugget special.
Excellent.
And we always have the whole parrot fish if you want that. That's one of our most popular items. Hanson was barbecuing up fresh ribs this morning. The weather's beautiful down here. It's not even windy.
And very little rain, although you should buy a raincoat. That'd be the best reason to come down here. One of the other good reasons is stock up on your typhoon preparation gear. Everybody needs a Wagyu burger for the typhoon.
That'd be good. So, we're going to talk about the typhoon?
Well, I think we should. I mean, given the fact that everybody else is talking about the weather, and even as I'm driving down to Ipen, I'm getting a news flash that it looks like the typhoon might have wobbled a little bit and may not be giving us as much trouble as people were warning. But last night when I went to bed, everyone was talking about how we were getting ready for a direct hit with a Category 4 storm with 130-mile-an-hour winds and devastation that caused the legislature and the governor to take this storm real seriously and loosen up $25 million in emergency money. So they were planning on spending your tax dollars on recovery, which I guess, again, we need to talk about how our government does its business, which is your business, our business. But at least as of this morning, many people are getting some good news here on Guam that maybe the storm has veered away from us. But unfortunately, it looks like it may now have a direct hit on Rhoda.
Yeah, it's moving more up to the Northern Marianas. And I think for us, we'll feel something, but it's going to be later. And, you know, I told you that people were asking me about a weather report.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I said, I don't know whether I'm going to put everything away yet or whether I'm going to shut down or whatever. But I just stay open until I'm told by my forecast people that it's going to come to us. I stay open because a lot of people need us when it's the typhoon time.
And it really is true. I mean, again, I think a sense of security, a sense of normalcy, something for people to really kind of look forward to. They like to have their breakfast here at the Cove. They love to invite their friends and family down here to have the barbecue. And you know, even in the midst of typhoon planning, people need to eat. They need to get hungry, and some of them are too exhausted to cook. So it's a great reason to come down to the Pirates Cove, if not only to meet some of your friends and neighbors and make sure they're okay. So you do a really tremendous service for the community, Jeff, in staying open, and you're famous for that. And you're open every Easter, every Christmas, and throughout the year. They're trying to make sure that everyone's taken care of, especially those who may not have a lot of friends and family here. Our military partners, guys in the federal government, or even just folks who maybe for whatever reason don't have a lot of support at home. This is your home. Come down to the Pirates Cove, join the Pirate Nation, and find out what it's all about here down here in Ipen, because it really is a special place.
Thank you, Doc. And for the military, we're always here for you. For the locals, we're here. For the tourists, we had a few Japanese tourists come through yesterday. And, you know, I've been trying to get GVB to recognize Pirates Cove as a good place to send their customers, because once they come here, we treat them good and we get a lot of repeat business.
Well, the government of Guam is shut down on Sunday. I mean, they may have spent a couple of hours on a Saturday yesterday trying to figure out how to spend your money, so you better hold on to your wallets. But on a Sunday, GVB shut down their night market, which rightly so. The night market is a big event, and so they're not having it tonight. They've shut down probably every other part of their operations that doesn't involve GPA or waterworks, which, speaking of which, apparently even before the storm happened, maybe because everybody's going to Donkey Village and Home Depot, the water went out. The water and the power went out in Tumuning. I mean, it's a little bit embarrassing that our government is going into session to find another way to spend $25 million to supposedly help us, and then our infrastructure, our utility infrastructure, goes out for no reason. Jeff?
Well, that's why in my business, I have a big 85 kVA generator, and I have a 8,000 gallon backup water system to protect myself from the government. And the government, like, the power could go off anytime, whether there's a typhoon or not, right? And that's a tough situation for me because I have to make sure the generator gets turned on right and the right people go there to get it started. So the government kind of keeps you captive, like if I wanted to go downtown, I'm saying, no, I better wait in case there's a power outage. I got to make sure the generator's on and we have power to produce. And we do. We're always ready, 365 days a year. 47 years we're here, and we're dependable. We're dependable for all the people in EPAN and all the people that want to come down here because we're here for you.
Well, one of the things that you've done in the past, particularly after when we had a whole bunch of big storms in a row and it seemed like the power and the water were out all the time, I'm talking about when Paka, Pongsongwa, Tataan, there were, back in the early 2000s, I believe it started in '99 with Paka and then was followed by Pongsongwa, which was a huge storm in, I think, 2002, and then Tataan and a bunch of other ones that we can't name. Those storms wiped out our infrastructure for consecutive years. About five years, we were really having a tough time, and I think a lot of people left. I mean, a lot of folks on Guam decided they had enough and they left. But Jeff didn't leave, and one of his big contributions to the community at that point in time was he made ice. Not the contraband, not the illegal ice, but the real ice, the ice that people need to keep their food safe and to provide for cooling you down when there's no power. So his ice machine apparently is really productive. In fact, and since the typhoons haven't been so frequent, he uses the ice to cool down the men's urinal here at the Cove. You should come and watch it. The kids love it. Actually, I love it. It's kind of a fun way to take care of business. You want to talk about ice, Jeff?
Well, my ice is really good, and it's purified with my beautiful Culligan water system, just like all our water here. If you drink a glass of water at Pirates Cove, it's going to taste good because we have the system that takes everything out of it. Mostly the water down here in the south is full of rust. I thought it was mud from the Ugam Chuam, but then I learned, no, we get our water from the north, and what we're actually seeing, I had Wary test it, is the rust on the filters. It looks like clay or mud. It's rust, and all the pipes need to be changed. And that should be a priority. I mean, you got all these people at GWA getting increases in pay and promotions and all this things like that. I think we should start to
hold them accountable.
Well, every time there's a leak, right, or something wrong, we should put all new pipes in.
Don't they? Do they just recycle old ones?
No, well, they just patch it up, right? And I think everywhere that we have continual breaks, we need to bring that above the ground so you can work on it next time.
Right.
Because you'll see the backhoe come to Tumon down there and
tear up the road.
Yeah, over by where the 76 used to be, near Outback area. They dig that place up all the time. Well, bring that up above the ground. Work on it up there forever.
No, they're doing it on Hospital Road, Cam Watkins Road, right in front of that AI center that GTA is building. They're tearing up the road there. Again, there's $100 million sitting in the Bank of Guam, and it's been sitting there for 6 years. They could have put underground pipes and cleaned up the infrastructure on Guam a long time ago. And that's something worthwhile going into session for on a Saturday morning, because we heard Speaker Frank Bloss Jr. had to call all his senators into session because the governor had something important to say. And they've walked away with $25 million. And hopefully it's all spent wisely and spent well. But there's $100 million sitting in the Bank of Guam that could have gone into infrastructure near you. Yeah, whatever village you're in, and if you're having a water leak, if you're having power with your water, call the governor, call Josh Tenorio, call Speaker Frank Blas. Get them to spend the $100 million that's sitting in the Bank of Guam on you. Again, this typhoon, I think, forced a lot of us to take stock of what our emergency preparations were. We were advised by our government to be prepared. And so let's advise the government to do the same thing. They need to be prepared to fix all the infrastructure on the island so that we don't have power outages and water outages when there's no damn typhoon yesterday. That was ridiculous. Whose idea was that? Were you trying to prove to us that you're incompetent? That was a good job. I mean, again, clearly, right, you didn't ask for this typhoon. It wasn't like that was your fault. But could you be competent, at least on a Saturday before the storm? Everybody's running around like chickens without a head buying extra toilet paper, and then we're getting all these texts that the power's out for no reason. And again, there was, as far as I know, no one sent out a notice to say, oh yeah, we were fooling around with the nuclear reactor trying to see if it'll work, and it blew up. I mean, it's embarrassing. I think the government should take, take some credit for it, apologize. Governor Liu, instead of, celebrating that there's a typhoon coming so she can get emergency funds from Donald Trump. I mean, Donald's busy. He's busy bombing Iran. So could you maybe, let's fix our own problems. We have $100 million in the Bank of Guam. It's not doing anything. So we need to spend it on our infrastructure. This money was given to us to help us be able to be prepared for the next pandemic. It also probably was incidentally meant to help us to recover from Mawar, which is like almost 3 years ago. Super Typhoon Mawar kicked our butt, put us into the ice age or the stone age for about, I don't know, it felt like 3 months. Maybe it was more like, well, it was more than 3 weeks. I mean, we got our butts kicked with Super Typhoon Mawar.
Yeah, and if you look around, that was 2023.
Yeah, something like that. Not that long ago.
Things that were damaged during Mawar still haven't been fixed. The lights, the intersection lights, and the big boxes down in Tumon that house their infrastructure, they're all crooked and broken. And, we need to fix these things up right away. We need to fix up the whole island right away.
Thank you, Jeff, for reminding me. One of my real intentions for coming down to EPAN today, and to speak to all of those good people out there, especially you out in diaspora, out there in California, Bremerton, San Diego, all of you good folks who've left Guam because of medical reasons that couldn't be taken care of here, or maybe you lost your job, or you just got fed up with life on Guam because the schools aren't good enough for your kids, or whatever the reason that you left. I mean, some of you are still complaining about the BRAC, right? I mean, again, this whole situation about our people leaving and staying away because the government of Guam fails, this is for you. I went to Saipan last week because my stepfather died, and we had to have his funeral and take care of family business. And it was the first time I'd been to Saipan in about 3 years since he had his 80th birthday. Point is, Saipan at that time was just getting smacked. Their economy got crushed. Many hotels were about to close. Well, I got an update for you. They're closed. I mean, there's probably like 2 hotels functioning in Saipan right now. The economy there is truly a mess, but the people really are happy. I mean, they have these athletic facilities right in the middle of the border of Susupi and Garapan. And at night, everybody's out there doing track. They're singing next to the beach. They're doing softball. There's volleyball games going on. It's really like the community has just simply come together during this time of difficulty. And there really is a wonderful community spirit that, despite their financial troubles, they don't let it take away from their spirit. And it doesn't hurt that they finally finished fixing all the infrastructure. Apparently they put all their infrastructure into new pipes, and they have brand new sewer, water, power, and a brand new road that goes around the whole island that has, guess what, Jeff? Sidewalks. So the tourists in Saipan, when they drag their pulleys, which I didn't see any of them doing, by the way, because they're so fast, right? Now they can do it like, half the time they do it on Guam, doing the off-roading pulley thing. The sidewalks on Saipan are spotless. In fact, I dare you to find an abandoned vehicle in Saipan. You can't do it. There are no abandoned vehicles in Saipan, Jeff.
What are they doing with that?
I think they just fix them and they keep driving them. But or
like Cuba.
Or maybe they've been sending them to Guam. But either way, there are no abandoned vehicles on the side of the road in Saipan. I swear. And there's no trash. Can you believe it? Can you imagine an island where there's no trash? So guess what they don't have in Saipan? They don't have trash-a-thons, or they don't have these island-wide cleanups. You know why? Because they clean it up every damn day. There are people literally picking up trash every day, and they're sweeping the sidewalks. I mean, Saipan is clean. I dare you to, somebody needs to take me a picture to contradict what I'm saying, because even these shut down hotels, which include the Hafa Hotel, the PIC is closed. There's another hotel whose name I can't remember. They're closed. They look like they're under renovation. I mean, they've somehow made it so it doesn't look like it's been closed or abandoned. And maybe they optimistically are planning on opening them. Unlike the Sherwood, which everybody knows, boom, 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 it's closed. And it's been closed for 20 plus years. And it's what the tourists get to see when they walk up to Kmart, right? Which I thought was going to close, but apparently they're doing okay. I'm sorry if I'm ranting, but I wanted to bring to the people of Guam and the diaspora a little bit of humiliation. Saipan's doing it better than you. Saipan is clean. Saipan cares about their community. I know we do too, right? We have all these great intentions, but our politicians suck. Maybe that's the big difference, right? Because I didn't get to meet any politicians when I was in Saipan, but their government seems to be working, right? The government doesn't seem to be getting in people's way. Yeah, maybe their government made some bad choices about gambling and, the garment industry. But I mean, still, the people that are there, they love each other. They're taking care of each other. And good on Saipan, shame on Guam, not meant to be mean. I know there's a typhoon coming. I'm simply letting you know we can do better. They're doing better, and they're now probably going to get whacked by the typhoon, because guess what? Rota is part of the Northern Marianas Island, and so if it does get hit hard, it's going to be the people from Saipan and Tinian taking care of their brothers and sisters in Rota, and we don't know what's going to happen with the storm, but I think we should try to bring ourselves a little closer together, learn from each other, take care of each other. All we have is a lot of money sitting in the Bank of Guam. They have an economy that's been devastated, but they have community spirit, and they have pride, and they have clean streets.
I like the idea of these sports complexes. I was seeing on Guam that we're building open air sport, and I think that's even better. Why pay for all that air conditioning? Air conditioning, you don't get to sweat enough. My employees, that's all they worry about is, I don't have aircon if there's a typhoon. Right?
You?
No, my employees, yeah. And I'm like, well, then come down here and you can go jump in the ocean and cool off, or, whatever. But
you don't have air conditioning either.
No, I don't air condition my house. I enjoy sweating. When I came to Guam in 1962, nobody had air conditioning, and we just got used to it. And now everybody has to have it. And I was telling you, the dialysis and all these people that have problems, I bet you if they get out of the house and exercise more and didn't eat as much and sweat more, they wouldn't have all these physical problems.
Well, we found that out during Typhoon Mawar. When the power was out for like 3 weeks, a lot of people who were on dialysis or having to use oxygen, they were among the people very harshly affected by the lack of infrastructure. And so hopefully we've solved that problem, and hopefully those people have learned how to adapt, because I hate to break it to you guys, but in Rota, they don't have dialysis. They have a very difficult time having oxygen, but their medical infrastructure in Rota is, very bare minimum, and they're good people there. I see a lot of them that when they come to Guam, and they're wonderful people. They deserve all our support. But when they get sick, or even when they give birth, so unfortunately, this is the dark side of it, is Rota and Tinian don't have the ability to take care of pregnant women. And so when the ladies there get pregnant, even if the baby's doing okay, they apparently are made to go to Saipan, and so they give birth in Saipan, which is away from their support system, away from their jobs, away from work. So it's not a great solution, but they've been using that now for the last 20 years, and that's the thing. There is an impact to the lack of money in the Northern Marianas that is not good, and that would be one of the things, the inequity of healthcare throughout the island. Saipan has the majority of healthcare as well as other government resources, so the other islands are lacking. But what I've heard from the people from Rhoda is that they've accepted it and they're dealing with it. It's not something they are proud of or that they want, but what else can they do? That's their home and that's where they live. My understanding is it's been more than 18 years since a child has been born on Rhoda. And that's coming from the mayor, Ms. Aubrey Hokok, who now has another problem, which is that a storm might be about to impact on her island.
And it's kind of interesting that, remember, wasn't it after Pang Sung Law? We didn't have a storm for 22 years.
Yeah.
But Saipan and Rhoda got hit all the time. So for some reason, the way these storms look at Guam, they don't like it here. So they veer off and they go up and visit the Marianas, you know?
Oh, gosh.
Right?
Who are you, Jeff? Because, if you're like a little bit positive, but, in your own cantankerous way, because that is the positive for Guam. We haven't had a whole lot of storms. The weather has actually been pretty good. I mean, it does seem like we've been lucky in that way. And you even said some nice things about something, I can't remember. But are you running for governor?
I am running for governor with Charlie Hermosa as lieutenant governor, and we want you to sign our petitions. I've been working on it. I got during Easter buffet down here, and a few days after, a lot of my friends came here, and I got over 200 signatures in a couple days by myself.
And I'm sorry I missed the Easter buffet because I had to go to Saipan, but I heard it was a big success. There was a lot of people down there.
It was very successful. Yes. I reduced the price down to $30.
And it was $15 for kids, right? It's cheaper than going to McDonald's. Hi, McDonald's.
And we got almost 300 people came here and enjoyed it. And now we're thinking about Mother's Day because I told you the way things were going, in so many cancellations and no shows on these reservations, I was leery about doing them. But I think the key is for me to keep the price down to where people can afford to come here. They look at a hotel that's $70 or $90.
Yeah.
So we'll try to keep the prices reasonable here so we get the volume of people and take care of the South.
And it's a lot of work to do these buffets. I mean, even on a weekend like this, your staff is already hustling because you see a lot of people on a regular, but to get 300 people to show up and I mean, you really, because everybody's complaining here on Guam that it's tough to get staff, to get people to be able to run your enterprise. So how do you do it? This is such a great service to have these events, especially on the holidays. And again, we talked about the people that probably appreciate it the most are folks who are either just visiting or not from here or have limited family support. So you're really performing a service. But how do you get staff here and how do you keep them?
Well, like everybody else, we have problems with staff, because so many have left Guam for one thing, and so many restaurants. If you look, even on Facebook, you've got all these different restaurants looking for employees.
Right.
Almost every single one. Even me, I hire more than I need sometimes because you turn over, for different reasons. People leave, or we give them a 90-day probation, and if they don't cut it, I fire them. Yeah. Because they have to be valuable. And the employees I do have, they can do the work of two people. They're good people, especially in the kitchen and on the floor, and even our bar has really got one of the most elegant, menus and tropical and everything you need. So we have 48 employees right now.
Wow. Is that yes?
Can I ask you to move down one
Oh,
to the left?
sure.
For all both of you?
We're going to move to the left.
Hi.
Yes.
Shift places.
Yes.
Shift. Charlie, get to work. Where is that guy?
Shift the tide. I just
Thank
wanted the
you.
seat up for Jeff. Oh, this is cold.
Yeah. So people say, "Are you hiring?" I say, come down and fill out an application.
Yeah.
Because one day we might be fine, the next day 2 people went on vacation or something else happened, and we need people all the time. Backup the backup.
So, Jeff, if I could, because I think there's a lot of people out there that might be interested, especially, I mean, you know, because one of the greatest things about Jeff's is the people that you meet. Your customers are wonderful, but they also, you know, expect good service. So those of you out there who've always wanted to work in a restaurant that was hopping, that had really good people both working here as well as clientele, Jeff's would be a great place. But, you know, one of the things I think intimidates many of our more mature workers, maybe people coming back to the workforce after either raising their family or maybe doing another business. Some of the retirees. What kind of special skills do you need to have to be a part of the pirate nation, the pirate crew here at Jeff's, the restaurant?
Well, the hardest thing to do is to hire people that have a good work ethic, right? So you hire somebody and you tell them you have to work Saturdays and Sundays and holidays because that's when we're busy.
Yeah.
And you tell them all these different things, and then you just put them to work and see how they do. And if they start missing work, you write them up, right? So we keep track of everybody that is working.
Yeah.
And fortunately, we have some of the greatest employees of anybody, I swear. We have good managers, and we have people that will stay here and work through the typhoon warnings or whatever the circumstances are. You know, there's a lot to do here. And when we, like today when we barbecue, Hanson will cook 100 pounds of meat today.
Wow.
And you got to use that, you know. Well, what do you do with it? You can make Kelgren out of chicken, but the ribs, the employees eat them, right? So, you know, it's all whatever
it's one of the
it
perks,
takes, right?
One of the perks.
And to me, Pirates Cove is like a machine, right? When it's slow, it's not making money, but when it's busy, the machine kicks in and you make up for the slow days.
Sure.
And it's just recently, my bean counter Dave was telling me that we're hitting the numbers we were hitting around before COVID.
No way. This year?
Yeah, after 6 years, you
Yeah,
know?
no,
but we've had to increase the prices a little bit.
Yeah.
And, you know, all of that. It's not really profitable.
Sure.
But I wait for it to be profitable. I wait for the government to bring more tourists to Guam and put some transportation around the island. And that would also help with employees.
Well, wait, you're running for governor, so theoretically, this time next year, you're going to be the one putting all that infrastructure. So you're telling me when you become the governor of Guam, you're going to make sure that the infrastructure for transportation around the island is going to be better? Can you
Definitely
tell me more?
there would be...
What are we talking about, Jeff?
Transportation, I will privatize.
Okay.
You know, I will get Kloppenberg or one of these other providers to have a bus that not only goes once a day, that maybe goes 3 or 4 times a day around the island. That way, if somebody wanted to work in Anderson and they lived in Mauricio, they could find a way to get up there or into Agana. Same with people up there. If they want to come down to visit Pirates Cove or they got a job in the south, we'll give them public transportation. The island is small. I mean,
30 miles long.
There was a time that Lam had 4 buses a day that were going around the island. And this was just for the tourists.
Yeah.
And what happened, there was an accident, some people got hurt, and they stopped it. I think that's like 13 years ago.
Right.
So the private sector needs to be involved. You can't just say, oh, we're going to do it with GovGuam school buses when the military comes to visit, or, you know what I mean? They use their resources. And a lot of those GovGuam buses are junk, you know, they're not in good shape. Triple J was trying to bring in electric buses.
Great.
You know, that might be great, I don't know, but I think it's a good idea to try. I mean, I have a charging station right here.
Do you?
Yes, I've had that for a couple of years now.
Did you pay for that?
Well, Jeff pays for everything.
Yes, that's
you know,
right.
one
I'm
way
sorry.
or the other.
We all
But
pay, yeah.
No, Triple J is very good to me, and they put in the charging station.
Wow.
And it's not making a lot of money because not many people have electric vehicles.
Not yet,
You know, hopefully in the future we will be able to have buses going around the island and get charged here.
So the pirate, if governor, will be more reliant on renewable energies, or at least less carbon footprint, using more electric vehicles. So those of you out there who already have invested in electric vehicles can come down to Jeff's already and charge your vehicle. Looking at increasing the opportunities for mass transit. So those of us who don't want to spend $6 for gas or worry about the conflict in the Middle East, we'll just jump in a vehicle that's paid for by the government and probably partnered with a private entity. I mean, it looks like we have at least 3, maybe 4 private bus companies on island that we can work with. Triple J, I think the Limpiacos have one, Kloppenberg you mentioned, and then Lam Lam Tours, that's at least 4. So unlike Saipan, which I think has a lot less options, their mass transit I saw was running around the island on Easter Sunday, taking people to and from their work and to and from restaurants and businesses and stores. You know, so Saipan, again, I hate to rub it into you guys there in Adelup, Governor Liu, Saipan has their buses running on the weekends and on Saturdays and going to places where the people live. Do we have buses running on Sunday?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
And you know, right now with the fuel being so expensive, the roads are empty. I'm telling you, people aren't driving as much. I noticed it in the last week or so, especially. And then, you know, I'm so lucky that I filled up my big generator tank with diesel. That's like 300 gallons. And I filled that up about, I don't know, a week before the war started.
Yeah.
And the fuel was only like, at that time for the diesel, maybe $6 a gallon.
Yes.
Now it's over $10 a gallon.
Yeah.
So times 300, you know, that's
well, according to Governor,
you know?
Governor Liu, it ain't an emergency. I guess only for her, because you know, when she was asked by Senator Jesse Lujan and others to maybe step up and do the same thing that other governments, including the Marshall Islands and the Philippines, are doing, and now joined by other nations, other communities, to try to figure out how to help the motorists on Guam, she said no, that there's no problem, there's no shortage, that there's no problem according to her. I mean, again, you tell that to the people that are right now standing in line at the gas stations, paying happy that they're paying $6.25, I think, for a gallon of gas, because it went up to, I believe, $6.40. I mean, they're celebrating the fact that gas has come now down to what is record highs, right? The ridiculous thing is we are still paying more than $2 a gallon more than the people on the other side of the fence. If you work for the military, you have the privilege of paying the same price for gas that people in the States are paying, which is a lot. I mean, so the price of gas is high for everybody except for the governor of Guam. The governor of Guam apparently thinks that there's no reason for her to reduce taxes on gas, take away the what do you call it, the GRT, do nothing, according to her, as a government of Guam official, to benefit the people that are trying to get to work, that are trying to get to church, trying to get to school, trying to deal with the fact that mass transit sucks and doesn't work on Martin Luther King holiday, because apparently they don't get the message that the whole point of the Martin Luther King holiday was the bus protests, because black people couldn't ride a bus. You know, the irony, and I'm going to keep rubbing in your face, Tyrone Titano, that was a dumb move. And so let that be sort of the poster child for what Lou Leon Goro represents. A government that's out of touch, not just with the people of Guam, but the people of the universe. You don't shut down mass transit on Martin Luther King holiday, baby doll. That is an insult to Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks all at the same time. Have a nice day.
Just want to acknowledge all the people in the comments, and someone has a question regarding gas. So before we pass, we go over that. So first of all, Jerome McDonald says, you guys are making me hungry. I think that's because of the food earlier in the conversation. With regard to the money in the Bank of Guam, Bennett Lujan Dueña says she wants more money in her Bank of Guam, right? And then we have Dave Dueñas in the comments saying, thank you for staying open, Jeff. And the question from, Stephen Blake says, you think the water well generators will work after the typhoon?
Probably a better chance now, since Miguel Bradallo and I guess GPA have kissed and made up, right? Because GPA threw Miguel Bradallo, the general manager of Guam Waterworks, under the bus when the water stopped working, and Miguel said, "Oh, we had a contract with GPA." There was a back and forth, and I don't know who won it, but I think the fact that both of them got burned by it, I would think 3 years later, 2.5 years later, that the chances of the water wells working after this typhoon or any typhoon should be pretty good, because I think they gave Miguel a nice big raise that he's been asking for the last couple of years. So I would think it would be really hard for him not to do better this time, and we're about to find out.
Well, if you figure what happened, no typhoon for 22 years, right?
Right.
So all the people with generators didn't start them all the time like I do here. You know, my father worked at the power plant.
So you know what to do.
So I am into power. And just letting things go for 22 years, and then here comes MOAR. Now, why isn't everything working? It's a typical Gov Guam maintenance thing, you know? Gov Guam has 14,000 employees, right? Who takes care of those generators in a timely manner, right? That's important. And what are all these people doing?
Yep.
That's important. So that's one reason that Charlie and I are running, because we want a lean, clean, honest government that serves all the people. That's the thing. New candidates, right? Who's our new candidate we need to talk about?
Oh, wait, before you go there.
Wait,
the
okay,
other question from Johnny Utah is natural gas buses are the most dependable, cheapest to run, and almost no pollution. Does Guam have natural gas tanks?
So are you talking about natural gas being, what is it, liquid natural gas?
Yeah, it's
LNG?
Same, yeah,
Same
it's
thing.
Similar, right?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't think so.
No, like the power plant wants to bring in gas to burn in the plant, right? It's a bad idea. Because for one thing, the security it takes to control the environment with natural gas is extreme, okay? Even when the ship brings in the gas, there has to be precautions in the port itself. And then if you look at the Guam Power Authority, they have had like 3 times blown up things inside the plant, okay? If you have natural gas and things blow up, you might blow up half a dedido or the Micronesian Mall because you moved the plant up there, okay? I do not believe that natural gas is the answer for us.
Because our government's incompetent.
No, just because we don't produce it here. Like before, Gorko, remember Gorko?
Okay, yes.
Guam Oil Refinery?
Yeah.
They produced natural gas, okay? And it was a big loss when they stopped operating, because now we have to get it off island, and it's quite expensive.
Yes.
It's very expensive to use.
Okay, so
Go ahead.
I'm just going to comment because this is not vetted, scientifically proven information, okay? But I was watching a documentary. Apparently, the founder of the or the creator or discovery person who founded Tetris, essentially in the U.S.
Tetris.
He owns a homestead in Hawaii, and he no longer owns Tetris, the company. However, he has been converting solar power in Hawaii on his homestead into hydrogen energy. So because what happens, and this is his explanation, and everyone can go and look it up, I'm not sure, but he has an entire lab dedicated to converting energy for sustainability. So he takes the solar panels and captures the solar energy. However, on a hot day in Hawaii, like Guam, when your batteries are full, it's at 100%. Now you have to think about how do we take that energy and not just throw it out, essentially.
Store it, yeah.
We still want to capture it. So they convert that energy from solar power into hydrogen, which can be collected and then used for even hydrogen vehicles.
Wow.
Things of that nature.
So sounds like we're getting more and more molecular, a little more atomic. And when you talk about hydrogen, I think of nuclear fusion. Maybe I might be getting this wrong, but the idea that the government of Guam will soon be running its own hydrogen plant or nuclear reactor, nuclear power plant. If we can't do liquid natural gas, we can't be relied upon to keep the power on when the weather's fine. Maybe, we need a new governor. Maybe we need a new sense of accountability in our government, that it not be for the government workers, but for the people. Maybe we need to hold people to their task, right? We need to be mission focused. I mean, a lot of folks give me these cockamamie excuses as to why the government sucks, right? Why the government of Guam has been tolerated to be so terrible. Everybody knows it. It's like this big joke. I'm sure the governor of Guam, Lulian Guerrero, she must have some pride, right? I mean, she must think she's doing something for somebody that she allows this level of incompetence to perpetuate. I mean, she used to run a bank, and that bank had some fiduciary responsibilities and was monitored by the FDIC. She couldn't fake it till she made it, right? She had to uphold the legacy of her father and all the shareholders. Why doesn't that same ethic exist in the government of Guam? Why does the government of Guam get away with being lousy? I mean, and don't give me no crap, right? We struggle every week to find something that the government of Guam does well, right? And paying itself, that doesn't count, right? Giving back tax refunds, that's the people's money, that doesn't count, right? You keeping the software system for revenue and tax paid, that doesn't count either. And keeping the power on, that doesn't count either, because if you think that's so tough, if it's too hard for you to figure out how to do it, then privatize it. Now you claim that it's more expensive if we privatize it. Really? Then why the hell does everybody else do it? I mean, this big lie that the government of Guam is somehow more altruistic, more efficient, a better value, a greater investment for the people of Guam. Where in the hell do you get that logic, Lou? It's hurting the people of Guam to have a government that sucks. It's demoralizing, it's spiritually draining. It's created this environment where the kids on Guam have such a low expectation of government of Guam employees that they're surprised when the hospital is clean, or that it has pillow sheets, or that it has clean water. You're supposed to be appreciative because the people there are working under such adverse work environment. At the Guam Memorial Hospital, oh, they're saints. They're like Mother Teresa. Okay, I was about to say fuck you, but the thing is, that fucking thing is getting paid $310 million a year to rip off the people of Guam. Don't give me that bullshit about it being a Mother Teresa, house for nuns. You guys are stealing money. You're using more money to run a rickety, crappy, dangerous hospital on the eve of a major typhoon, where pregnant ladies and their babies are now going to go and experience the rainfall from a broken roof, a broken envelope, and your stupid parking lot still unfinished, right? You've waited until the fucking last moment to fix the electrical system, Jolene, Dr. Jolene Uggan from Jotnia. It's going to take another fucking 18 months to fix the damn thing. You've been there for the last 6 months. You've actually been paid to be the medical director for the last 6 years. Why the fuck did you take this long to fix the electrical panel?
Settle down.
There's a typhoon coming, Jeff.
Even, I know. And it was interesting today. I got I go up the GMH for therapy for my respiratory, right?
Yes, sir.
And they told me that all the outpatients are canceled this week already.
Great. Good
the
job.
Typhoon didn't even come.
Good job.
It hasn't
Good job.
even come.
Way to
right?
go, Gov Guam. Why? Because you're going to go home you're going to go to Home Depot? You're going to go buy water? Jerks.
No, I don't. There wasn't a reason. They just said because of the storm.
No, it's the governor. This
But
is the governor's
storm
fault.
Is, nothing's for real. When there's a storm
They're not serious
coming,
people. They're
the
not
storm
serious.
isn't for real till it gets close, and then you can see it.
Well,
right?
can you do two things at once? Because we all are. Everybody in the private sector is taking care of our homes, and we're taking care of our business. So you need to do the same. The people's business is not your business. You're not the people. You're the servants.
That's the way it's supposed to be in the
Well,
government.
again, there are like 50, 60 people running for senator now. We have like 6 teams running for governor. Hey, let's talk about that one. I know you want to celebrate your candidacy, which obviously I support, but I am excited about the fact that yet another team from Jotnia is deciding to jump into the race just to I guess, show Governor Liu just how much people think they can do better than you. I mean, you're a failure, right? Your legacy is that of failure, and this typhoon is going to be the icing, the cherry on the top, right? You're acting like, oh, I'm so competent. Let me have a press conference to tell you how to get prepared. They don't need you, Lou. They don't need you. You haven't even been here. You've been in Taiwan, Hawaii, Washington, D.C., trying to get Trump to give you more money. Let me tell you the truth, right? Therese Terlaje is the beloved of the Democratic Party. She has more support than you do. And she just announced her candidacy with Sabina Perez, and the people of Guam swooned, right? Suddenly, there was this big sucking sound out of Josh Tenorio's campaign, and a lot of people who've been waiting for a better Democrat just found her in Therese Terlaje. Doesn't mean anything about the Republicans, doesn't mean anything about the independents. This is all about the Democrats. This is the death knell of the Lou and Josh team, because she was the anti-Lou and Josh, right? Just a couple of weeks prior, and you know, everybody saw how nice of a guy Josh Tenorio is, a wonderful man, admirable. He called her a liar. He called her a liar for saying she wanted to speak with the federal representatives, come to talk about undersea mining. No one believed Josh. Everybody believed Therese. Because Therese is many, many things, but she's not a liar. She is irritating. She has her own opinion. She's a very strong woman. And when she makes her mind up, she ain't going to change it. Hey, she sounds a lot like Lulian Guerrero. What do you think about Therese Terlaje? Because she won't be directly your opponent, sir. So just from a political analyst standpoint, Therese Terlaje entering into an already crowded Democratic primary election for the gubernatorial seats, how do you think this is going to impact?
Well, I think it's going to scare Santa Claus and everybody else, because she is very popular, she's very smart, and she's a lawyer, right?
Yep.
And I guess her running mate is quite adequate, right?
Yeah,
you know?
Very adamant.
Well, I'm happy to see it. You know, the way it's working out, originally I talked to Doug, or I had notes from Doug saying that Charlie and I only needed 1,500 votes to get out of the primary. Well, it all changed. We need 20% of the truest high vote getters, okay? Which could mean 4,000 or more votes for us. So we have to work at that. And that's why we want everybody register and vote. If you're in the military, if you're a student, if you've never voted here and you can change things. Like, I love all these politicians running. I mean, that's what our democracy is. I don't trust any of them, because I've been here 60-some years, and the reason I'm running is because I think I can do a better job than all of them, because Charlie and I can be objective. We're not related to a bunch of people that need flavors. We're not thinking about families all the time, or the perpetuation of the same contracts and the same spoiled system of procurement and everything else. We're interested in the regular person, the people that want their kids to go to a good school and get a good education, the things that have never happened. That's what we think we can make happen, because for some reason the politicians, they can't. They're tied up. I told you about my IT friend, right?
Oh.
He was a very smart guy, got a job with government of Guam, and started to change things, and they said, oh, you can't do that. Why? Well, because this person over here will be affected. Well, it shouldn't never be that way. If you're doing the right job for the people, that's for everybody.
Yep.
And you know that the internet here and everything else is never quite right. You know why?
No, tell me.
Well, the power system's never right.
Dirty power.
Look at the crooked poles. Look at the poor grounding system. Look at the salt in the transformers, it's never cleaned. Put it underground. You know, my sidewalk proposal to put all the nice sidewalks, instead of cutting the boonies next to the road and leaving it a mess, put a sidewalk there that's wide, and under the sidewalk, we'll put an infrastructure in there. And, you know, I was talking to some friends of mine that are engineers. They said everything can be done. And the military will pay for it. I'm telling you, the military is so good to help us, but I don't think our Gov Guam leaders trust the military.
I don't think the
The
military.
politicians
trusts
act
the
like the
Guam leaders.
military are, it's vice versa.
Yes.
And do you think government is corrupt here?
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter what I think. Therese Terlaje thinks government's corrupt here. Sabina Perez thinks government's corrupt here. That's apparently their whole platform. But I do support the fact that Charlie Hermosa is going to make a really great foil to government corruption, because he's the guy who, as a Marine, knew that the mission it matters more than anybody's personal feelings, right? He's the kind of guy, if you tell him that something needs to get done, he'll make sure it gets done. And so we really celebrate both you and he stepping forward and getting out of your own comfort zones. As Lord knows, you've got plenty of things to do. But without further ado, let's welcome our special guest, the actual co-host of the show. A little bit late today, but better late than never, Mr. Charlie Hermosa.
Hey, Charlie! Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Even not even a typhoon can keep you from coming to the show. And I don't know if you heard us celebrating, your candidacy. Jeff clearly, he hasn't lost any of his fire. But you're the young blood here, and you've been capturing everybody's imagination for the last several months, wondering what exactly is Charlie going to do. And you open your beans and barrel, wonderful thing. You've got all these great ideas about workforce development, creating new industry. And then, you find time for like your hobby. You're like Bo Jackson. Let me run for Adeloop with the pirate. Can we get a word from Charlie Hermosa?
Well, first and foremost, thank you for allowing me to come back, and a little late, but little late.
Better late than never.
Better late than never. But one of the things, and I had the opportunity to go back to the mainland and visit my family, and the uniqueness about these long trips is it all depends on who you sit next to, right? Because you have really good conversations, and let me just tell you that I sat next to somebody amazingly interesting on my way back to Guam. Had an amazing conversation.
Wow.
He's a Democrat.
Oh.
Yes. And so, but what he said is he knows Jeff very well, and he wasn't in tune on what was going on, so he wanted to hear a little bit more about what was going on about our, because he asked me what I did and everything else, and then I saved that one for the last. And by the way, I'm running for lieutenant governor. And it's like, oh, okay. So then we went through and he's known Jeff for a long time and everything that he's done, and so one of the comments that was made was, we actually in times like this, we actually may need a pirate to run the island, right? I mean, that was just he was sort of making a joke, but he was being serious about it. Yeah. He's in the construction side of business, and then he learned a little bit about my background, and at the end of the flight, he gave me his card, shook my hand, he said, "Tell me where I can donate. Tell me where I can sign the petition.
Yes.
And you have my vote." And it's easy as that. So I have his card, but it was a great conversation about, he also came to the island. He's got kids, grandkids now, and he's seen the change, right? He's seen things happen. But the most important thing that everybody's talking about is the past. The past. It's what we're going to do in the future, right? What is this going to look like for the next 2, 4, 6, 8 years? And that's the important part that I think that everybody needs to take a step back and take a look at, everybody who's running, both on the gubernatorial side, but also, on the legislative side, right? It looks like everybody's leaving the 38th,
yes.
For one office or the other.
No kidding.
And so, you got to look at the new candidates, because whoever gets into the executive office will have to work with the 39th.
Yes.
To be able to move forward the agenda that will get Guam back to where it should be. So.
And where should we be? Efficient, right? Streamlined? I mean, what did your friend, when you were talking to on the plane, what did he want? What did he mention? What he expects from the governor and the lieutenant governor?
Yeah, and yeah, I think that I mean, even just simple conversations with everybody, I think everybody's looking for just allowing the government to work for the people.
Yes.
It doesn't, it's the opposite. It seems like we're working for the government to work.
We are.
And that goes into paying more money, paying more taxes, and that's never been the case, right? I think that for the amount of money that we pay into the government today, the island should be in a different position right now.
Yeah, there's plenty of money, but nobody knows but Lou and Josh how much money there is.
Right.
And who says how to spend it?
Mm-hmm.
They do, right? And with us, we are going to look and see what needs to be done, like right now.
Right.
First, we got to fix up tax and revenue. We can't have this computers always going down and poor people waiting for months to get their driver's license, and a building that the aircon doesn't work, and all these essentials. That's how we're going to spend the money first. On the machine itself, the government of Guam's, they're all spread all over in different buildings, and we need a central building, a good, efficient, where we can put many agencies under one roof. That's one of the first things I think we need to, work on. And then right sizing. Anybody that knows and has lived here a long time, they don't like the government. They're sick of it. And that's why you only had less than 50% voters turned out for the last election.
Yeah.
And I have people really happy with running Charlie. I mean,
no.
The day we started the petition here, people would stop and coming inside. Where's your petition? I want to sign it.
Right.
And we need a lot of votes now. Moylan says we need 20%.
And I think right now, this other quote unquote other choice now that the people have has really turned the tides on how people are looking at this gubernatorial race, because now the options are really clear. And one of the things that I think Jeff, that you and I bring to the table is the fact that we don't sugarcoat anything. We're very transparent. We're going to show the people exactly where every single dollar is going, and there may be some people that are going to get upset. But as we've always said, and I'm going to stick to exactly what I've always said, is the fact that when we have to break the bone, and we have to reset it, we got to put a cast on it. It's going to hurt a little bit, but once everything's healed and the bone is all back together, we're going to be a much better island, a much better community, and that's exactly what everybody's looking for. And and also the fact that other conversations I had with people on the plane were the fact that they want to come back to Guam. People want to come back to Guam.
Yeah, people, once you lived on Guam and you got your whole feelings and about the whole vibe here, you love it. And if you have to leave, you go away, you love it even more because you want to come back. But if you can't get a job, or you feel the politicians aren't serving your children right with good education and everything that they don't do, you don't come back. And it's expensive, to come back here. But yes, we need to figure out how to make Guam affordable. That's a very important part of this, because right now, 3 and 4 people have to work just to pay the rent that the military has driven up so high in all these housing areas. So, there's a tremendous amount of things to do. But us being the only ones who can really be objective, because we don't know the parties anything. You say we're pirates, or we're privateers, and sure, we're whatever you want us to be. Call us what you want, but not late for dinner.
Not late for dinner. In fact, not late for lunch, because that's what's coming up next. For those of you who come down to the Pirates Cove and want to continue the conversation, come on over to the restaurant. It's open. It's beautiful. I'm looking outside the window here, and there's not much wind. Maybe there's a little bit of rain, but it's a beautiful day to come and celebrate the candidacy of Jeff Pleadwell and Charlie Hermosa. They're willing to put their lives on the line to be your leaders into this new, brave new world where, we can't afford to make the same mistake twice. We voted for a candidate who supposedly was going to be more fiscally responsible, someone who was going to care about the families of Guam, somebody who was going to do things the right way, like fix the hospital. Well, she failed, and we gave her too much time. We thought maybe the pandemic was a fluke, and then in her second term, I mean, I'm just speaking for myself, we thought that maybe she would find her way, but she's lost her way, and so let's not give the pirates too much time. Pirates are known for their efficiency. They attack, they make things happen, and then usually they have to leave town quickly because, you know, they piss somebody's husband off. And so I think we hold these pirates to a little bit of fire, because that's what pirates are known to be. And we hope that these are our pirates, the ones that are going to be working for us, just like the original pirates worked for the Queen of England, did they not? In fact, the pirate is just a word for privateer. You're the historian here, Jeff. Can you tell us how pirates in this era can be a force for good?
Well, first of all, pirates run a democracy. And if you're a bad pirate, your crew, if they don't make you walk the plank, they put you in a boat and they maroon you. They get rid of you, right?
Maroon.
So we can't do that to the governor of Guam.
No, but
although I did read a story one time about one of these guys that got mad at the governor and kidnapped him and took him out to a different island, like Rhode Island.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And he just kept him there, you know,
Right,
because
right.
you know, it was really crazy. And there's always been pirates coming to Guam.
Sure.
They were either following the galleon or they stopped here for provisions up the bay or whatever. But pirates are popular, you know that.
Yes.
And Johnny Depp helped, right?
Right. But
and I told you that I didn't even become a fledged pirate until I worked 20 years here.
You earned your
doing
way.
different things, right? And it's how you know, how do you connotate a pirate, you know? Well, pirates are also the worst bloodthirsty people that, you know,
pushed in
killed
the
a
corner.
lot of the Spanish up at the fort, and, you know, there was a lot of things involved. But
Sure.
I can be whatever the people want. And that's why Charlie's here too. We can take care of you. That's it.
And you know, and a lot of the discussion also is, you know, we're not we're going to talk about how to fix things, and you're going to hear our platform based on transparent ways to get things done. You're not going to hear a lot of the political jargon, you know, that you're going to hear. And so one of the things that we're asking for is the opportunity to come and speak with us. And we can talk to you one-on-one and share the ideas, but also listen to you as well. Because, again, the government should be working for the people. It shouldn't be the vice versa. So come out to Beans and Barrels and Jeff's Pirates Cove and have a discussion with us. Sit down with us. We're pretty much always there. You know exactly where to find us, and we can sit down and have a cup of coffee. Would love to hear your ideas. And this is, you know, what we want to bring to the table is something new, something that would actually make a huge impact change, not on day 100, not on day 180, but from day one. As soon as we get sworn in, the plan of action will take place on day one.
I'm going to call out to all the folks in Pirate Nation. Our numbers are swelling. We are legion. Please come forward and help spread the news. Pick up some of these registrations, these petitions, and help get 10,000 signatures. We want these guys to be going into this political fight with 10,000 Pirate Nation behind them. Register to vote, first of all. Then make your vote count by voting for these guys, and begin it by signing their petition. And if you have questions about it, this is a perfect time to raise them, and then help make sure that this is the government that you voted for. Because I think of all the teams that are out there, these guys are the most accessible. There's none of these layers of political party hoodlums in your way. I mean, between the Democrats and the Republicans, they've got a fist fight going on, and a lot of times it's wheeling and dealing. I mean, they admit it amongst themselves. These are the only guys that are going to have to be answerable directly to you, no middleman, right? But begin the process by being part of switch and moving the tide, right? We need to turn the tide by getting you out there to your friends and neighbors to help sign the petition and also get people registered. Our big push this year has been to get the youth voters out, and promise in the next couple of shows to bring some of those examples of empowered youth, I guess, influencers. I think 2 weeks ago or last week, it was Pete Officiar, you know, a great guy, entrepreneur, a pirate unto himself. And I think there's nothing to be, I guess, we don't need to be slow to accept the fact that this is really what America's been all about. This is a revolutionary country. Democracy requires sometimes the blood of patriots. We've had many people from around the world become Americans because they wanted to start a more democratic way of life, similar to the way that pirates are. And they're not perfect. Pirates are not perfect. They often need, I think, bumpers on the side. That people need to be a part of it to help make sure that they stay focused. Otherwise, they drink too much rum and party like rock stars.
And,
Yes, Charlie?
And be part of history. Right. No independent party has ever made it through. Be part of history.
Well, the odds are stacked, the cards are stacked against us.
Just like we want it.
Well, we want the people that are not happy with the government of Guam. That's who we want.
That would be
Even if you're an employee of the government, that's fine. We will make it right. We will right size. We will listen to what's wrong, and we'll make the changes. And we'll build a facility for you that you'll be proud to work in. I mean, it might not be the coldest air conditioning because, you know, I like people to sweat a little, but we'll make it right, and it'll be efficient, and it's going to be great.
Yeah, and it's those little things, right? I mean, Jeff, you're talking about those little things that really matter to the people that are out there working day in and day out to making the island what it is. And it's those little things that are going to go a long way, and those little things are the things that have been neglected. I think those are the things that we're trying to bring back. And so again, come join our movement, be part of history. Come with us and see how we're going to be able to turn Guam around.
And no disrespect to the other political parties, the Republicans and the Democrats, they try their best. But let's face it, who would you rather spend Christmas party with? Who would you rather be in on the July 4th weekend? The Pirates or the Republicans or the Democrats? Those people are all full of themselves. They often want you to pay for their way. They're not fun. This is fun, and this is serious. This is the way that democracy works. Honest, hardworking people stepping up and serving their community, serving their nation. I mean, both these guys have proven it with their life service, and you know, Charlie in particular, since he's the youngest one here, he's making some big inroads into things that are going to matter to the youth, the young voters, such as creating new jobs and new ways of doing business in our community. So a lot of exciting thing here. And if anybody thinks we're fooling around, if they got mistaken by the announcement being on April 1st, this is not a joke. This is for real.
We're ready, right?
We are ready.
We're ready to shift the
All I
tide
need is
and play the
you.
game. Are we going to play the game today?
Yeah, we can play the game.
Yes.
So the one question that a lot of people are having, I'm putting you guys both on the spot. We don't plan this. It's just a free-flowing conversation. But a lot of the government employees, they're unhappy to go to work. They just call in sick, and I was having a conversation, I won't disclose the name. But when,
go ahead.
You know, when things are going crazy, for example, the tax system is down, you have disgruntled workers who usually show up every day. They can't actually do the job. They go and they talk to the directors, they go and talk to the leadership, they don't do anything for them. And then when, you know, the system is down, they're expected to save the day with giving no resources. But the comment here that I've received, people calling me, is Jeff really running? You know, is Charlie running? And I said, yeah, they're running, it's serious. And I said, the first comment was, wow, that's for real? And the people that you have to convince, they're saying, because they're these people, highly political people, and they say, the one scary thing about both of you running is that you don't have any affinities to like government contracts, or it's change. They're afraid of change. Not that they don't realize they need it. They say, oh, we know Guam needs to change, but we're afraid of it. We have no idea what that's going to look like. What would you say to people like those people?
Well, if they're happy with what's going on right now,
Good answer.
we're in trouble. And when we say change, we mean change for the better. Change to work for a government that is doing its job and that everybody's proud of what they do. And we will right size it. And if we have too many employees in one area, we'll put them in an area where we need them. I mean, we don't have enough police. We don't have enough customs. We don't have enough people even going around picking up trash on the road, and things like this. Everything that needs to be done is going to be looked at and implemented. And it's going to be better because I can tell you, I voted in every election since I was, old enough to vote here. And I had faith in the governors, and it didn't work out. They didn't do what I wanted. More or less, they left office wealthy and in great shape. And the island didn't move forward. It didn't do anything except for what it's been doing. And this is like, 40 years ago when I ran as an independent. The problems now are even more because nothing has been implemented. All these ideas that politicians promise you, they don't come true. Politicians will give you hope, will give you a chance. Okay, so we elected you. What happened? Walandito. There's nothing there, okay? So Charlie and I, we don't owe anybody. We want your vote, and then we owe you. That's it.
Yeah, and the one thing that I would say, and I'll be very straightforward, is don't be afraid. And the folks that are afraid are the ones that don't want change because they show up and get a paycheck, and that's it. And so the people that are actually doing the work are the ones that are being frustrated. Also, in the higher management, we have directors and deputy directors. What do? How much do they get paid? I talk to a lot of middle managers who are saying, we see them getting paid the big bucks, and we're the ones that are doing everything to make things happen. So we're going to change that, and it's going to be hard. So for those folks that just show up and get a paycheck and don't know exactly what they do, you should be concerned. You should be concerned because we're going to take back those positions and those monies and reallocate them and give better paying jobs to the folks that are actually making the jobs. And we're going to get folks into the positions to manage these agencies that actually can do the work, that they have the background to be able to manage the agency in the most efficient way possible. But the first and foremost is don't be afraid, because again, the folks that are afraid are the ones that don't want change because of where they sit. They just are allowing that to for them to be able to come in and get a paycheck and just kind of carry along the days and collect the money that we pay into the government, and that's not fair across the board. So we want to make this a fair environment for everybody to be able to work in. So that would be my take on that question, Andrea.
And me as just a humble voter, guy in the private sector, watching some of my friends and colleagues decide to take this big step, I'm just going to judge them on their product. Both of them have created jobs for our community. They've put people, particularly young people, into positions to succeed, and then they work alongside them. I mean, these are not leaders who sit in the back room, watching some TV show while everybody else does the work. These guys lead by walking around. If you ever come down to Jeff's, I mean, that's one of the great thrills for a lot of our visitors, the people from Taiwan and Korea, is to see the pirate in action. And Charlie's place, I mean, he's the guy cleaning up afterwards. He's mingling with the folks, but he's also making sure that the product shines. So you have leaders here, that my personal view, that are going to emulate and model the kind of behavior that you want in any kind of leader, whether they're called the governor or they're just called, the guy running the food truck. They make things happen and they're accountable. If you're afraid of that kind of leadership, then go join the Democrats and the Republicans, because that's what they represent. They want you to be held hostage to your political allegiance. They want to use you and your family and your votes. And they don't really care about the service that apparently they provide at the hospital, at the schools, on the roads, with the abandoned vehicles. I mean, again, it's not that politics can't do better, but it isn't, not here. And these guys represent an alternative that is for real. you can judge them on the same things that you judge us at the American Medical Center. I mean, we provide real jobs, real service, and real results that this community demands. And so that's the kind of politic that I expect out of the Pirate Nation. I expect that out of Captain Jeff Pleadwell and Charlie Hermosa. And I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be disappointed because these guys are for real.
Yes, and if I don't know how to do something, I will find the best person. Charlie and I will talk, and we'll take that person and let them lead what they know best. And we want the best Gov Guam workers that are already here. We want people to come back that have left. And we want people trained so the government always gets better and doesn't go backwards, you know, because the way I see things now, things don't go forward. A lot of promises, a lot of talk, but nothing gets done. And that's why we're running. We'll get it done.
Yeah, I mean, you know, develop a performance base. I think that if you look at, you know, we have some amazing people working in all these agencies, government agencies, amazing people that do amazing work. You know, why not create and reward them for what they do? And so right now, that's the unfairness that a lot of folks say, you know, everybody's just kind of in the same ground, you know, like I come in, everybody comes in, everybody gets paid, and it should, you know, and, you know, why should I do more than I'm supposed to do? Like, why should I take it a little bit above what I'm supposed to? So we want to be able to reward these employees on the government side. But at the same time, we want to be able to engage with the private sector so that there is a collaboration between the private and the public side, because, you know, we may have some duty experts on the private side that could help our agencies out. For some reason or another, it's hard. Unless you're in that circle, you're not getting brought in to help out with issues that are going wrong or that are happening that we could potentially, I mean, what happened in DRT with the systems, I can tell you, I know a handful of people that could have stepped in and fixed the issue, not only from the negotiation, but from a system IT issue. What happened with DRT, somebody holding the keys to the kingdom will never, ever happen under our leadership. That will never, ever, ever happen again.
This time next year, you can judge them on their word. So vote for the Pirate Nation candidates of Charlie Hermosa, Jeff Pleadwell, and more importantly right now, because we got to get them onto the general election, sign the petition, come down and be one of the ones to circulate the petition. We want 10,000 signatures.
Yeah, well, I got 200 on my own,
yeah,
you know, and I enjoy doing it. And it's better, we can talk to people, you can come here and sign a petition, you go to Charlie's place, B&B down there, and we have a few friends with petitions out there, so all we need is 500 signatures.
Right.
But we need 4,000 to 5,000 votes.
We need 700 signatures.
Ozzy?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean extra?
Extra, yeah, we need extra.
Yeah, no problem.
Get plenty.
I'm on it.
Keep getting them.
I'm taking away you guys' power to choose.
And for
okay, we're gonna just okay. That will do that. Okay.
You don't have to hold up the card. If
Okay.
You don't have
No, it's okay. I'm just saying. Thank you. Can I go first?
Yes. Okay. For everyone who's watching, you can go to hafahour.com and play along with us. This helps you understand the power of the vote. You have the right to choose. Every week, we give a plus or minus to a candidate, whether you're a gubernatorial candidate or a senatorial candidate or a board of education, all of them. And Doc, Charlie, and our guests, and Jeff, they always share why they gave the plus or minus, and this helps you understand your power. Okay, Doc, start with you.
So my plus one, and make sure, is to Charlie and Jeff, and for obvious reasons, they've stepped up. And you know, this is for anybody who's thinking that this is an easy decision or a joke. No, they've just now, you know, committed their lives to do something very important that very few people will ever really have a chance to do. Jeff's done it before because he's concerned about this community. As I get to know this young man, I just appreciate how much truly he's in love with Guam and how much of a patriot he is, and he's showing it again by really putting himself out there. I mean, allowing you, as the voter of Guam, to really judge him and ask him tough questions about why he and Charlie deserve your vote, but they get my vote today because I think this is one of the most American things you can do, is to allow yourself to be, I guess, evaluated as a leader in our community. But I'm already voting for them as the leaders today, who I'm very proud to stand beside.
Thank you, Doc.
We'll just skip the
Yes,
minus.
well, there is no minus. Today is nothing
Today
but
we're not
positive.
going to minus. We're not going to bad anybody.
Okay.
Okay. I'll go for Charlie and me, okay?
You've been consistent.
Yeah, that's my plus because we're coming for you. We're running for you. We're going to do whatever you tell us you think you need to make things better, as long as you're right. We're not going to deal in politics. We're not going to give you a raise if you don't deserve it. We're going to run this government like a business. And I can tell you, I can run a business. It might have taken me 38 years, according to my bean counter, to become successful. But on my way, I developed this 20 acres into a beautiful place for all of you to enjoy. And now I'm successful. And I'm going to be more successful when you let me and Charlie run your island. Pluses for uses.
Well, I mean, I'm actually on the -1 for myself and Jeff, just because we waited a little bit too long. So that's probably on me, Jeff. But on the positive side is the fact that we made the announcement, and what Doc is right, because we are taking a very calculated risk, because it's not easy to be able to raise your hand and talk to your family and say, hey, by the way, this is what I'm going to be doing now. And,
I think you're nuts,
everybody thought that that everything was pretty much solid with the restaurant now, and everything was good, and sort of threw a curveball. But one of the things that I told my family was that I just couldn't sit back and watch this fall apart. And Guam for me represents more than just an island, more than just a community. My daughter is Chamorro, and my love for my daughter stems from the island, and I want to do everything I can for her so that she has an amazing future, so that she's able to open up her own business, go to UOG, be able to afford and live in an environment with the rest of the family. Those are the things that I'm thinking about now, which I didn't think about before I had a daughter. But now that she's in my life, that's my #1 priority. I want to make sure that I do everything I can to be able to support her and other families that are looking for the same thing, is that commonality of being able to live in an environment, in a community that everybody shares the love for the island. We want to bring that back. And the way we bring it back is with everything that we've been talking about: education, workforce development, reducing taxes, streamlining the government, being able to open up a business without having to go through hurdles. And that's one of the hardest things that we're seeing on now. Be able to help the small to medium-sized business, be able to take the next level and leap to do bigger and better things, be able to bring back our Manunkos so that they understand that they have a great hospital to come to, don't have to worry about healthcare. That's one of the main things, and one of the reasons why they can't come back is because they're concerned about their health. We want to be able to change that. We want to be able to bring everybody back that has gained knowledge, experience, travel around the world, seen great, amazing things, bring that back to our island, make it better, expand our foothold within the region, and really bring it back to what Guam was back in the day. And that's the reason why I decided to run with Jeff.
Right on.
Bravo.
Come on down to eat barbecue.
Yep, come down and have some delicious barbecue cooked on mesquite wood charcoal with Hanson's delicious recipe. And what else do we need to do today?
Just make sure that we continue to,
continue, and thank everybody for signing our petition.
Yep.
Thank everybody for thinking about voting for us.
Yep.
Now all you got to do is register and do it. And that goes for the students, for the military. If the military has husband and wife that one needs to stay registered wherever you're from, fine. But please, the other partner, register and vote here locally. Your taxes, all your taxes that come out of your paycheck, go to this government to Guam to waste for you. That's not a good feeling. I know, I pay a lot of taxes. Sometimes I make a lot of money. And when I got to give 20% to the government to screw me over, I'm not happy. 20%. And we're going to change that.
Like, share, and subscribe. I think it's the first time we said it today, but make sure you do. Blast it out. Let's keep the Pirate Nation front and center to everyone. Let people at least have a choice. And more importantly, I think you need to be optimistic that the future is bright, particularly when great young men like Jeff and Charlie are willing to step forward. We've got a great community, and every week we celebrate them here on the Pirate Podcast.
All right. Shout out to all the people who joined us.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks for your comments. Keep it coming.
Any comments?
Yes, you had so many comments. We have Jerome McDonald, Kamusta, Charlie, Johnny Utah, Bennett Lujan Duenas. Welcome, Charlie. There's so many comments.
They thought you were going to be a Republican, you know. Then you turn into a pirate. Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Shelly Gibson says, "Hoi, Tata Typhoon." Frank Santos, time for change. Jeff, I like what I hear from you. Shelly says, all those candidates thinking they're getting because crossover votes got reality check coming. Nash Guerrero has a lot of really interesting comments, so you guys can read through that in terms of change. Brennan Fausto, Brennan's in the comments.
Number 5.
Yes, and many people that dropped in. Anna Marie Flores as well. You're doing a good job, Doc. Events from your favorite patients, and that's it.
Oh, you got a lot of favorite patients.
But she's my most favorite.
Okay. You guys can dance out.
Oh my God.
Oh, it's so.
No, go. Yeah, we're ready. We got Charlie.
Were we thinking about
Hafa Hour Guam Unfiltered.
Yeah, it didn't work today because there's a type.
Hafa Hour Guam Unfiltered. Ahoy, sing it, don't filter it. Guam sauce for true seekers, yeah, we deliver it. Guam Unfiltered.
Is it the baby?
Everybody now, Unfiltered.
Only 3 dancers today. This isn't too difficult, you know.
White ladies breach when the night wind blow. Truth don't scare when the truth must show. Chief got out and Matapang strength we carry on. Sarina in the tight sing, Guam sing along. Continue to continue.
Everybody's optimistic.
Independent Pirate Party.
It is looking a lot better. Once it starts going
Hafa Hour Guam Unfiltered. Hafa Hour Guam Unfiltered.
You can't hold this up.
Ahoy, sing it, don't filter it. Guam sauce for true seekers, yeah, we deliver it. Tune into Hafa Hour Guam.
You have Typhoon shutters? No. You have a generator?
No.
And it? Adios, everybody.
So you introduced it. You introduced it. Are we starting?
Arigato. Okay.
Hey, wait a minute. Wax on, wax on.
Time to go.
A few.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Each story is told in a different way. Sometimes I hear the same birds singing from past weeks, telling of their adventures since last seeing each other.
make you proud, Grandma. Promise.
That's better. Okay, we're done.
The property lines.
Sir, please wait here.
I need you to stay by the car.
Okay, I got it.
Just tell me what happened.
Has been breached. Confirmed reports of multiple attacks in the capital.
Please. We're now in a state of alert. Go! Come on in.
Yes. But I didn't. Details emerging of a major political scandal shaking the island.
But I didn't expect it here. Where else would it be?
Only thing that's on my mind, who's gonna run this town tonight? Yeah, I said it, we are. This is Friday.
Hey everyone, how's it going? Sorry, my dog.
We're ready to get started.
Welcome to Hafa Hour Guam Unfiltered. Ahoy! Ahoy! Aye! Oh, for a die Guam. Hear that I come alive. Come just Pirates Cove, we sailing for what's right. Captain Jeffrey Pigwell keep the compass true. Andrea on the map. Guam directory coming through. Tigs with the signal, save our startup loud. Doc Akimoto on deck, AMC proud. Leaning close, let the real talk run. Ha good nya to man. Everybody has one. No whoosh on this ship. No fear in our eyes. Raise the sails to the truth. Watch the whole place rise. Hafa Hour Guam Unfiltered. Hafa Hour Guam Unfiltered. Ahoy, ahoy. Sing it, don't filter it. Guam sauce for true seeker, yeah, we deliver. Hafa Hour Guam Unfiltered. Everybody now, Guam Unfiltered. They do to Santa Rita, in Alohan too, Talo Fofo in the reading. This one's for you, Don Farrell in the room, Charlie Hermosa near. We ask real questions, make it crystal clear. Tenorio Calvo, Ada, Camacho names in the race. No banners on this deck, just truth to face. Independent pirate party, stand firm, stand tall. Continue to continue, answer the call. Clap, clap, lean in close, let the real talk run. Hagotnya to month, everybody has one. No hush on the ship, no fear in our eyes. Raise the sails to the truth, watch the whole place rise. Hafa Hour Guam Unfiltered. Hafa Hour Guam Unfiltered. Ahoy, sing it, don't filter it. Guam sauce for true seekers, yeah, we deliver it. Guam Unfiltered. Everybody now, Unfiltered. White ladies breach when the night wind blow. Truth don't scare when the truth must show. Chief Gadao and Matapang strength we carry on. Sarina in the tide sing, Guam sing along. Continue to continue. Independent pirate party. Hafa Hour Guam Unfiltered. Hafa Hour Guam Unfiltered. Ahoy, sing it, don't filter it. Guam sauce for true seekers, yeah, we deliver it. Tune into Hafa Hour Guam.